In the late 1960s, fear gripped California. A mysterious killer emerged from the shadows, calling himself the Zodiac. He taunted the police, mocked the media, and sent cryptic codes that baffled experts for decades. His identity remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history. Tonight, we revisit the chilling story of the Zodiac Killer, the man who turned murder into a twisted game. America in the 1960s, a nation on edge. The 1960s were a turbulent time in the United States. The Vietnam War raged on. Protests filled the streets, and the counterculture movement was changing society forever. In California, the San Francisco Bay Area was seen as a place of peace, freedom, and creativity. But in December 1968, that peace was shattered. On the quiet stretch of Lake Herman Road, two high school students, Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday, parked their car to spend time together. It was supposed to be an ordinary night. Instead, it became the first known attack of the Zodiac Killer. Both teenagers were brutally shot. Witnesses later recalled hearing gunshots, but the killer had already vanished into the night. The police had no motive, no suspect, and no idea that this was only the beginning. The Zodiac emerges. Just 7 months later, on the night of July 4, 1969, another attack shook the Bay Area. At Blue Rock Springs Park, Darlene Ferrin and Mike Mageau were sitting in a car when a man approached them with a flashlight and a gun. Shots rang out. Darlene was killed instantly, but Mike survived despite multiple injuries. He would later describe the attacker as a stocky man with short hair, calm and deliberate in his movements. But this time, the killer wasn't content with remaining a ghost. He wanted the world to know his name. On July 31, 1969, 3 major newspapers, the San Francisco Chronicle, the Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald, received letters. Each letter began the same way. "This is the Zodiac speaking." Enclosed was a 408-symbol cryptogram. The killer demanded that each paper print the letter on the front page, or he would kill again. The media had no choice but to comply. The first cipher. Within days, a schoolteacher named Donald Harden and his wife managed to crack the code. The message was chilling. It read, "I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest, because man is the most dangerous animal of all." There was no real clue to his identity, only a disturbing glimpse into the killer's mind. The Lake Berryessa attack. On September 27, 1969, college students Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were picnicking at Lake Berryessa. A man approached wearing a bizarre black hood marked with the Zodiac's cross-circle symbol. He carried a gun and a knife. After tying the couple, he brutally stabbed them. Cecilia later died of her wounds, but Brian survived. Before leaving, the Zodiac carved his symbol and the date of the attack onto Brian's car door. Once again, he had turned murder into a performance, and he wanted the world to see. The San Francisco cab murder. Just 2 weeks later, on October 11, 1969, cab driver Paul Stine was shot in San Francisco's Presidio Heights. This time, the killer didn't hide in the shadows. He wiped the cab clean of fingerprints, tore a piece of Paul Stine's bloody shirt, and mailed it to the San Francisco Chronicle as proof of his crime. The Zodiac was no longer just a killer. He was playing a twisted game with the entire city. The ciphers and letters. Over the next few years, the Zodiac mailed dozens of letters and ciphers. Some were rambling threats, others included diagrams for homemade bombs, and many contained demands for attention. His obsession with astrology, cryptography, and violence became his signature. The 340-character cipher, sent in November 1969, remained unsolved for over 50 years. In 2020, a team of amateur cryptographers finally cracked it using computer algorithms. The message read, "I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber, because it will send me to paradise all the sooner." But again, no name, no confession. The Zodiac's true identity remained hidden. The suspects. Dozens of suspects have been investigated over the decades, but one name stands out: Arthur Lee Allen. He was a convicted child molester with a fascination for cryptography and weapons. He owned a Zodiac brand wristwatch with the same symbol used in the letters. Handwriting samples and circumstantial evidence pointed to him, but DNA tests later ruled him out. Other suspects included journalists, recluses, and even conspiracy theories about multiple killers. In 2021, a group called the Casebreakers claimed that a man named Gary Francis Post was the Zodiac, based on photo analysis and alleged evidence. But police have never confirmed this. The legacy of fear. The Zodiac Killer created a climate of terror. Families avoided driving at night. Couples were afraid to go on dates. His taunting letters gave him power far beyond his crimes. Unlike most killers, the Zodiac was addicted to fame. He wanted to be feared, remembered, and immortalized. Movies, books, and documentaries have kept his story alive. The 2007 film Zodiac introduced his crimes to a new generation, while online communities still attempt to decode his remaining messages. Why he was never caught. So why was the Zodiac never captured? Experts point to several reasons. Multiple police jurisdictions failed to share information effectively. Forensic science in the 1960s was limited. The killer may have simply stopped, died, or moved on without leaving further evidence. The Zodiac exploited weaknesses in the system, and in doing so, became one of the most infamous criminals in history. Conclusion: the eternal mystery. The Zodiac Killer remains a phantom, a faceless man who turned murder into a puzzle, and who still mocks us with his silence. Was he a genius, or just a madman seeking attention? We may never know, but his story endures, a chilling reminder that some mysteries refuse to be solved. If you enjoyed this journey into one of America's darkest legends, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Lost Legends, and hit the bell so you never miss the next mystery. Until then, keep searching for the truth, because somewhere out there, the Zodiac's shadow still lingers.